How many years are you facing?
It could be 3. You can't even look at the sentencing. It's all over the map. You can't say, oh, this person had the same charges. This is what they got. Like, I think one of my friends, Kirsten, we have the same charges. She ended up with 9 months. So that's probably where I'll land, somewhere within there. Who knows?
Did they offer you a plea deal?
Oh, yeah, they did. And they can keep it.
They did. What did they offer you?
Well, they've offered me 2. The first one was pleading guilty to 1 charge. And in it, they were going to be able to interview me. They never tell you what they're going to recommend for sentencing.
So offer. It depends on the answers. Yes. You know what that means? How much evidence you can squeal on somebody else and bear false witness. That's what they do. Right. Yes.
So I denied the first one. That was with the public defenders, whatever.
Yeah.
So then, just recently, after my attorney had done a motion to dismiss everything based on selective prosecution.
Right.
And it got denied by the judge, which we knew was going to happen. But right after that, they came with another motion and they said, oh, we won't pursue jail time if she takes the plea. I don't trust
And you said no?
I said no.
Oh, burn it down! The first couple hours, a different kind of emotion than the emotion I'm going to express in this next segment. But even still, it was emotional last night, been emotional several days. And I get really, really emotional about our January 6th Patriot. Really emotional. But listen, I have proof that we're a people of law and order. Number one, it wasn't an insurrection, because if it was, they wouldn't have gotten that white building back. And I wouldn't have brought a bunch of girls. I would have brought a bunch of my friends with lots of guns. Nobody had any intention of insurrecting. It's all a fake, a fraud, and a lie. But we're people of due process, of law and order. We got guys in the gulag I talked to. They're literally, they're not doing it for themselves. Let's put it this way. They're in there for our country. They're like trying to do their part. And there's thousands and thousands more outside of the system that refuse to just take a knee to their tyranny and just, plead out and just go. I'll never forget with me, if you're a regular listener of the Pete Santilli Show, you know my story. Maybe you don't know the specifics. They offered me a misdemeanor. And I said, through my attorney, I said, you can clean me up a little bit. But tell them I won't take a parking hit. I'm going to expose you at trial. So, ladies and gentlemen, Cindy Lou Young, currently a defendant, charged with 4 misdemeanors. For peacefully protesting on January 6th. Cindy's a proven survivor, having faced other life challenges such as a plane crash in Nantucket Island in 1950. She survived. She survived breast cancer in 2008. And now she's under political persecution. Obviously, if you consider that she survived plane crash and breast cancer, she's going to be strong when this regime wants to bring the full force of the government upon her, and they are. Cindy's confident that she will survive. Trial is coming up on August 5th. Cindy, welcome to the Pete Santilli Show. If you ever wondered, like, oh, he's got like an awesome or an awkward cadence and he's pausing and he seems overly dramatic and emotional. No, it's actually my way of not giving them a freebie because I literally want to come to work and say, all right, everybody, how are we going to start shooting communists? We don't want to do that, right? So I have to be very measured and we remain composed. But here's my point. I wouldn't say that. I don't even think that. I think I get emotional, especially when my government does this to people like you. Cindy, I'm so sorry. I want to apologize. I get frustrated. I wish I could do more. I wish I had contacted you prior. Thank you for your service to our country, though, by not shooting communists, by not insurrecting on January 6th, by being a law-abiding, right, due process patriot. Thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now I'm going to ask you all the particulars. I know a lot about January 6th, but I'm not here to impress you. You went there. You didn't go to insurrect. We can get past that. You didn't go to insurrect. When you approached the Capitol, what did you see? Tell me. We'll get into your case, but just follow my.
As I approached the Capitol, the first thing I noticed was big, loud bangs, which I thought at first was them up on the upper decks lighting off a cannon. I was like, oh, they're lighting off a cannon,
Yeah, right.
But it turned out to be
like ceremonial cannon. Yeah.
Yeah. So it turned out to be flashbangs that they were lobbing into the crowd. And then, it got more intense out there. They were firing rubber bullets and gas munitions, and the crowd kept building and building and building and got more agitated at the actions that were being taken upon them. Angry, I would say. So then the crowd moved toward the building, and I moved toward the building with the crowd. And I ended up going through open doors. You know the story.
Wait. Hold on. This is what I don't want you to skip because I was just reviewing my videos as to where I was. And all right, so you're in the crowd.
Yep.
And you're at the back of the crowd. Obviously, you get to the edge of the crowd, and then what? You just started navigating forward, or what? What caused you to?
The first thing I did. I'm a short person. I got up on a little wall, and I stood on this wall so that I could see the crowd building.
Right.
Stood there for quite a long time, and then there was a woman that had a rubber Capitol police officer. She had a bullet gun on me. Looks like a football. And I could tell she was looking at my eyes and I was looking at hers, and she was going to get me with that thing. So I said to the man that was next to me, I said, she's going to hit me with that. And he goes, get behind me. So I did. And then he turned around and he goes, do you want to get down now? Are you scared? And I said, yeah, I do want to get down. So I got down off the wall. Then I'm with the crowd that's moving into the Capitol area up near the Senate wing. And that's where I entered through.
Okay, so you get through the crowd, and the crowd wasn't packed. It wasn't violent. Were you punching people? Did you have a stick? Were you going to go break windows? You just went, and the door was open, right? Hi, come on in.
The doors were open. They say that, I walked by broken glass. That's the thing they love to talk about, is that you saw broken glass and you kept coming in. I didn't see broken glass. I was surrounded by people. So I moved with the crowd through the doors.
By the way, they're listening. I'm going to speak to them, and I don't want you to chime in. You're going to trial, all right? Mm-hmm. Cindy's association with me, she has no idea how belligerent I am. You scumbag prosecutor. And she walked by glass. Oh, you feel really good writing that, putting that in her indictment, that she's just such an evil person because she walked by glass, you scumbags. Anyway, I digress. So you walked by glass, they say. So you went into the Capitol. How long were you in the Capitol?
26 minutes. I basically made my way right through. I got bottlenecked in a couple areas. I was first captured by John Sullivan in the rotunda. There's a video captured on his video that he sold to CNN.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're walking through the rotunda, John Sullivan and his little CIANN cohort captured.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So you go through the rotunda and what? You're in awe and you're part of this thing and we the people.
I thought I was videotaping. I'd never been in the Capitol before and I had my phone up. So I'm like the Where's Waldo of January 6th because I didn't look like a terrorist that day. I had on a red Aztec jacket, very identifiable. And my phone, which I thought was videotaping, had the light on, but no, nobody was home. I wasn't videoing anything because I think they had our phones blocked at the time. So you see the light, you see my jacket, standing in the rotunda thinking I'm getting video of that. I didn't. And then I just continue to walk through the ropes. I walked through the rotunda, through Statuary Hall.
Inside the ropes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's terroristic. What do they say to that?
They didn't say much to that. They get to the point where there's one area I got to that's really under contention right now. I don't want to talk a lot about it, but I will say what they've brought up is that they're saying that I witnessed Ashley Babbitt get shot and that I didn't choose to leave the area until after she got shot. I know that if I saw a person lose their life, be murdered, which is what I believe happened, I would remember that. I think I left seconds before, minutes before, I'm not sure. But anyway, I went down a set of stairs. I went through the Hall of Columns, which was totally empty. I met up with a Capitol guard and I asked her, I said, I need to get out of this building. I want to get out of this building.
Why?
How do I get out?
Why? Why did you want out?
Why did I want out? Because of the activity that I saw in the area. The last area I was in, they were busting glass. It was getting a little more violent, I would say.
Oh, okay. So you said, I didn't come in here for that.
Nope. Okay. So I went down the stairs. I asked the Capitol guard how to get out. She points down this hallway. So the Hall of Columns goes down, and then there's another hallway that is a cross section, and then it extends. So further down that hallway, I see men coming in with long guns, and they're doing like the SWAT team roll-in, one after another. And I say to the guard, I go right against the wall and I say, I'm not moving because they're going to shoot me. And she says, oh no, just walk with your hands out. You'll be fine. I said, you get a guard between me and them to point me out and I'll move. So she does. She calls a guard, and I think there's public video of it. He points me out of the building. So he's between me and the guys with the guns. He points me out. I walk out. He doesn't say anything to me. He doesn't detain me. I walk past 3 or 4 officers at that point, and out of the building I go.
Okay. All right. Now, who's your attorney, by the way?
John Gross, and he's really good.
Is he?
I got him through Marjorie Taylor Greene, as a matter of fact. Really? So I went in New Hampshire. I went to an event of hers and I met her. And I had 2 public defenders at the time who were really not doing anything for me. They wanted me to take the plea.
Yes.
And if I didn't take the plea, they said that I would get the felony, the 1512 charge, if I didn't take the plea, and it'd be 20 years. And I just said, no, I can't take the plea. And our relationship deteriorated from there. I had one witness that I wanted to bring onto the team, David Summerall, and they freaked out the minute I mentioned his name. And that was when they decided.
Who freaked out?
The public defenders freaked out.
They did?
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, because they had, but he's seen more evidence than they did.
Right.
Right. Of course,
so
they freaked out.
Said, quote unquote, you don't get to choose who's on your team. We do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yep. And it went downhill from there, and they withdrew from the case. So I told Marjorie Taylor Greene when I saw her, I said, I'm losing my public defenders because our relationship has broken down. She said, give your information to my staffer, whose name is Nick, who I did. And I figured, I didn't think I'd hear nothing else. But 2 days later, I get a call from Jonathan Gross, and he said, Marjorie Taylor Greene asked me to call you. I'd like to represent you. And
okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right now. You ready?
Mhm.
I have been very, very, very hard on Marjorie Taylor Greene because I don't trust anybody.
I know.
So I'm hard on all of them. I don't trust anyone. And you just told me something that she did that quietly. I've always thought that everything she does is for attention. And
she's the only person that has stepped up for me.
Wow, that's great. Okay, all right. I'm on a moratorium. I'm going to back up just because of what she just did.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give her as hard of a time, but I'm giving everybody a hard time.
I hear you. I don't trust anybody these days either.
That is so awesome what you just said, that she stepped up like that. We needed that because you know what? To find attorneys is almost impossible. I mean, right?
So at the time, I was looking at 3 different attorneys. The price range for these attorneys was phenomenal. I'm a single grandma. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm on Social Security. Do you know how much it costs? Real. By the way, if an attorney tells you, "Oh, I need a $10,000 retainer. It's going to cost you $50,000," that is nothing. They're deceiving the public. It literally costs to go to trial and to do it the right way, a $1.5 to $2 million by the time you're done. And they were probably throwing out at you $50,000 or $100,000 maybe, or right.
And it could start at 15, and we could go up. They said it would go up significantly, probably 30, maybe even past that. So
it costs $1.5 million to $2 million, no doubt about it. How do I know that? Because I have a little bit of experience in the system, and
we're not just talking pre-trial trial. Then you've got the appeal process.
Yeah.
And
right.
All the motions in between. This attorney has spent hours with me. Hours. The databases that you need to go through to look at your evidence. Number one, I can't look at anything. I don't have a copy of anything. I'm not allowed to look at it, only when I'm with my attorney. My attorney's in Baltimore. I'm in New Hampshire. So now I've made several trips to Baltimore to look at the evidence that they say they have.
That's by design, by the way.
Huh?
That's by design.
Oh, absolutely. They want to ruin you.
They want to ruin you. You can't see the evidence, and it's a due process violation, because you're supposed to be able to comb through all the discovery. I want to ask you one thing, and I'm going to have respect for your attorney. Now, normally, if you didn't say what you said about Marjorie Taylor Greene, putting you in touch with this one particular attorney, I would say just ignore those chimpanzees. Let's have at it. But did you see anything? I'll speak generically. Did you see anything in the discovery at all at any point in time that is just not public?
Oh, yeah. There's something on my case right now that I can't talk about, but it's under seal.
Nice. And you know about it.
And I know about it.
And it's under seal.
Yes.
You go, girl. You go, girl. Expose that. Expose it. Expose it. You get in that courtroom. Whatever it is that you say to the jury is going to be secondary. I'm going to say this. Just remember this. Whatever you can get on the record, get that on the record. Get it on the record. Get it on that transcript. The jury is rigged. You know that, right?
They hate me. I know that they all hate me. In fact, at my pretrial, which isn't finished yet because we had pretrial. We didn't finish everything, this issue included. So now August 1st is the continuation and finish of the pretrial motions. And but the statements the judge was making during pretrial were, they just made my hair stand up on my head.
Like what? What did the judge say?
Like, I don't want to hear the First Amendment in my courtroom.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I've been through that before. We were prohibited, literally, from having Constitution in front of the jury.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. So what they do in pretrial, what they've been doing is they talk a lot about jury nullification, right? So then they set the bounds of what you can ask certain witnesses based on the fact they don't want you to sensationalize the jury with your words, with your questions, blah, blah, blah. So they were putting all kinds of bounds on us. And my attorney said, well, what are you going to put on them? Because you know they're going to use words like insurrection, mob, coup, all of these type of words.
Right.
And we got them out. They can't use them.
They can't. That's great. Great. And your attorney's name again? Hold on a second. Deb Santilli has a question. She's going to be on audio. Deb.
No, I was just coming. I was like, oh my goodness, that's great.
That's great. Yeah, she just said that's great. She was reacting very positively. That's excellent. What I want you to say your attorney's name again.
Jonathan Gross. Gross.
Where is he?
Baltimore.
He's out of Baltimore.
Yep.
Jonathan Gross in Baltimore.
Attorney.
Huh?
Yep. He's a J6 attorney.
Right.
He represents several of us.
Okay.
His first criminal case. Okay. He's done other cases and now he's really started to focus just on J6. So I'm his first case where he's the lead attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Is the first trial that's been in front of Judge G. Michael Harvey.
Uh-huh.
I'm just thinking that
G. Michael Harvey is the judge.
G. Michael Harvey is the judge, yeah.
How did your attorney respond to the judge saying he doesn't want to hear the First Amendment?
He was like, oh my God. He knows what he's up against. Here's the other quote that I hope is, no, I'm not going to talk about it. I want it in the.
Whoa. Wait. Was it in open court?
Yes.
So it's in the public. It's okay for you to talk about it. Yeah.
But I want it in the transcript, which hasn't been written yet.
Well, remember this, by the way, you have entitlement to audio recording. Did you know that?
Okay.
So if they delete that from the transcript, know that you can get the audio recording. As a matter of fact, you should ask your attorney for the audio recording. But go ahead.
So he says, and I got to get the context that he said it in, but I think what he meant was that him and the prosecution, he said, we will prove this case. We will prove this case. I was like, what? Yeah.
Colluding with
the attorney heard it too.
Deep state. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So motions in limine, that's what they're called, right? Like what you can say. And it's contempt. If they say you're not allowed to say a certain word and you do that, that's contemptuous. So you're boxed into a corner. And I have that much respect for the system. You don't want to be quote unquote contemptuous, but you want to try to get the truth out. In this instance, in front of this particular jury, when do you do jury selection? We
do jury selection on the 5th, August 5th, and then we start trial right after the jury's in.
Were you able to craft or be involved in the juror questionnaire?
Dear. Yeah, we sent in a lot of questions, and then the judge came back with his proposal of what he's going to ask, which didn't include a lot of what we wanted to ask. So we're going to finish that discussion on the 1st. Mm-hmm.
I need to get you a message.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about it publicly. All right.
Yep. Okay. That's fine.
About that, there's a, as a matter of fact, I may want to get it to your attorney. If you still have those opportunities, because by the way, in Portland, Oregon, we as a group of defendants, with the Bundy cases, we got an acquittal in front of a Portland jury because of the question that we posed to the jury.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not going to share those publicly.
Yeah.
All right. So why do you want to go to trial? You know you're not going to win anything, right?
Right. But I didn't do anything wrong. So why
Good
would
for
I
you.
say I did something wrong?
Good for you. Good for you, darn it. That's right. Troy, do me a favor, would you please?
Yeah.
Throw your fist in the air and say, fight.
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 Fight, fight, fight.
Fight, baby. Fight. You fight them. You fight them. Even if
Yep.
we're going to lose, we're still going to fight you.
You know,
And fight in this fashion, not
I don't want to
physically.
be a martyr for the cause. That's not what
No.
it's about.
Right.
This is about, it's about the story my family will be left with about me.
Woo. Everything.
Everything.
That's everything. That's our fight right now. Our
Yep.
fight. And when I say fight, our due process up against everything that they do wrong will, are we going to benefit from it? Hey, you know what? That's not what our fight is about now. Now we're going to leave. This is our legacy, is what we leave behind. I want our generation to be known as Cindy Young said, on principle, I'm going to go get in your face because I did nothing wrong. Right?
Right.
What? Do
Right.
you have children?
I have a daughter and a granddaughter.
You do.
Mhm.
That's what this is all about right here.
That's why I went on January 6th. I don't want her living in the world that we've come to know, which is satanic. What they're doing to our children is disgusting.
Mm.
So if I can do anything to help change that, I'm going to do it.
What in your indictment, how they always say, oh, and this person was on social media posting XYZ, and like, how did they try to pigeonhole you and box you and say, oh, she's an insurrectionist, look at what she did? What are the worst things that they said to demonize you?
They have a picture of me doing a interview with Epic Times, and I have a flag that says Trump, no more bullshit on it.
Nice.
So they've got that in all caps.
Oh, and that was insurrectionist.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. And then they said that I was standing with a crowd and they were yelling, break the doors down. But the picture that they put of me standing in that crowd, my mouth is shut. So
they have no audio of you.
No.
Saying that.
Oh, wait a minute. They do have one audio, and that's that they got from open source video, I think the CNN video. And I'm saying as I'm walking through the Capitol, this place needs a good saging. They brought it up. Like, okay.
Oh, God forbid. Yeah.
Me and my sage.
Yes. Yeah. One time I said, I'll never forget, they pushed play because I'm a talk show host. They had the luxury of being able to just push play on stuff that I say. But I said I believed in limited government. And I was same person then as I am now. And I said, you know what? Limited government. I said, all they should be worried about, the federal government, all they need to worry about is filling potholes on interstate freeways, like on state borders. That's about it. Other than that, go to D.C. and mind your own business. Oh, they said he's anti-government.
Yeah. Oh, they're saying I'm a Q person too.
Are you?
I follow Q. Who doesn't?
Right, exactly. And that's the answer that I wanted to hear.
I don't live and die by Q, but I've read a lot of the messages. I do my own discernment on things.
You know what I found out on the Q board? And I used to do this thing on the Q board. They go read like a news article or something like that. I discovered, I'm in Ohio, and I didn't even know this. It was a big article. There was a big bust in Columbus, Ohio. And there was a child trafficking network that was busted in Ohio. And they described how Ohio is like a central hub. Yes. So I went to work, on my show, and I read this article. And I said, I never knew this about Ohio, is that big. U.S. Marshals busted the door. It was a big, big raid. And then I said, guess what, folks? Guess where I learned that? On the Q boards. Like people are going there and they're discovering things I didn't even know.
To look up and just.
That's right. So they're accusing you because you used the letter Q in the alphabet that you were therefore worthy of a multi-decade sentence.
Mhm. Yes.
How many
Yeah.
years are you facing?
It could be 3. You can't even look at the sentencing. It's all over the map. You can't say, oh, this person had the same charges. This is what they got. Like, I think one of my friends, Kirsten, we have the same charges. She ended up with 9 months. So that's probably where I'll land, somewhere within there. Who knows?
Did they offer you a plea deal?
Oh, yeah, they did. And they can keep it.
They did. What do they offer you?
Well, they've offered me 2. The first one was pleading guilty to 1 charge. And in it, they were going to be able to interview me. They never tell you what they're going to recommend for sentencing.
You have to proffer. It depends on the answers. Yes. You know what that means? How much evidence you can squeal on somebody else and bear false witness. That's what they do. Right. Yes.
So I denied the first one. That was with the public defenders, whatever.
Yes.
So then, just recently, after my attorney had done a motion to dismiss everything based on selective prosecution.
Right.
And it got denied by the judge, which we knew was going to happen. But right after that, they came with another motion and they said, oh, we won't pursue jail time if she takes the plea. I don't trust
And you
them.
said no?
I said no.
Oh, you're you know what? It's you and me, baby. Guess what? They offered
I told them the shit in their hat is what I told them.
Oh, yes! Deb Santilli. Who's she sound like?
She sounds like you, and I bet her attorney did the same thing your attorney did.
It was what? How many days before? How many days before trial?
It was like a week.
No, with mine, Deb. How many days before trial? I'm going to tell you a story. Hold
on. Just a couple of days.
Couple days before trial. You know what they said?
What was that last?
Because we were going to go to trial and expose that we had stuff, and they're like, and they just didn't want it on the record. They thought, well, we have a Portland jury, but we're going to get that stuff on the record. And they said, we'll give you a misdemeanor. And I said, nope. I said, no. And everybody was like, my attorney was like, oh, everyone was just thrown up. They're like, you're facing 30 years. I'm like, make it 60. I don't care. We're going to expose them.
Told me that he wishes he'd have the courage I have.
Oh, you are. You're my hero. Did you do me a favor? Throw your hand in the air and say, fight.
Fight.
That's right, baby. Cindy, that's great. It's great you do that. What they're going to do, and you never know, because on the eve of trial, they may just dismiss you. They may. You stand. Whatever you can get on the record. You and your attorney, go, fight. Because what they have done to our country, and they, and they're listening, they probably believe that we're just doing our jobs. You need to stop doing your job.
Everything. They listen to my phone. They sit in the parking lot. If I go to Baltimore, they're in the parking lot where I go stay in the hotel. It's disgusting.
Yeah. By the way, since you're tuning in, listening and don't take it out of context if you're going to use this stuff against Cindy Young. Guess what? You already tried to pull your shenanigans with us, and you're doing it with Cindy Young and other January 6th patients. But guess what? You goons, wait until your worst day comes when you're exposed with the stuff you've been doing at Fort Washington, Maryland. Ooh. Do you know what that is? Did you know not only did they surveil, these evil people did so much entrapment, social media influence operations, so much stuff. We're going to expose it, Cindy. I'm telling you, we are. And the stuff that came from my trials are going to benefit you. You stay strong. As a matter of fact, if you can go on the record and say, Your Honor, I would just like to say one quick thing. Fort Washington, Maryland. You can just say that. And just pause it. If you can say, we'd like to see the what's on the server in Fort Washington. Yeah. Why don't you have your attorney? I'm going to call your attorney.
Yeah.
And ask him to request all of the records from the surveillance that they did on January 6th from Fort Washington, Maryland. What do you think of that?
Yeah. That'd be good.
All right.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah. You know why? Because all of their black operatives, you know what they do? They communicate on the child porn server chat room. You know that? The
No.
FBI runs them. And it's not conspiracy theory. Legally, I have this certified. The FBI's running child porn servers so that they can communicate their little operation orders like they did on January 6th, right? That's what these disgusting people are doing. That's how they were. You can't catch them, right? They're all communicating, doing their little I Spy stuff on John Brennan's child porn servers in Fort Washington, Maryland. We should have that brought up. Your Honor, we'd like to stop the bust. You want to get your case dismissed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Your Honor, as a matter of fact, I'd like to find out if you're communicating on you said we? What was that we thing? Are you in the child porn servers as well? Because you know that. Did you know that Chief Justice John Roberts, we have evidence
Wow.
that 11 child porn websites are attributed to Chief Justice Roberts' name. And not because he likes child porn or he's a pedophile. It's because that's how he gets his orders. Okay? That's how he communicates covertly without them detecting it. Because, you see, if he says anything, they'll say, oh, you got child porn on your computer. Right? Cindy, you go, girl.
We're going. We're going
Do
for
not
it.
back down. You fight, fight, fight. Never back down and never give up, Cindy. My goodness. I didn't expect this. I thought, oh, let's talk to Cindy. January 6th.
I know, she's boring. Some people haven't even talked to me because they think I'm boring. I'm the grandma that,
No, you are
I'm the grandma that's going to take down the house.
You're a national treasure. I want you to repeat to everybody right now, boring or not, it may sound boring, say it in a monotone voice, that they offered you a plea deal with no jail time and you said what?
Shit in your hat.
Boom. That's right.
Yeah.
Justice will come.
It will.
Through
It
this
will.
process.
And here's the thing too. It's like I've been on pretrial supervision for a year now since they arraigned me. Here's the thing too. They came and interviewed me on January 13th, the FBI. They left me alone. They came again on December 22nd of 22. They didn't come. They reopened the investigation then. They came to visit me in February of 23. Still nothing happened. Until June of 23 when they opened my arrest warrant. So.
And what do they do when they arrested you?
So they told me I had to self-surrender in Concord, New Hampshire, which I did. And I went immediately to the U.S. Marshal's office. They put me in shackles for a day, threw me in a holding cell for a day. They told me I had to be there first thing, but I didn't get in front of the judge till the very end of the day. And they brought me in front of the judge in handcuffs and shackles and made a big deal about, taking them off so everybody could see. And then from that point on, I had a probation officer. So right now, this probation officer, she can show up whenever she wants. She makes me do a urine test, watches. I'm not allowed to have any alcohol. I'm not allowed to have any drugs. I'm not allowed to be with people with guns. These are all things. But these are things you do for a felon. I haven't even been to trial, and I'm doing these things for a year.
I understand, and I'm sorry that my government's done this to you. So sorry. Is your PEO, probation officer pretrial? I bet they're really nice.
They are. She's like, but
ridiculous.
I don't trust anybody.
No,
so
you can't. Oh,
the last time she came, I have my car My car, I've written on like defund the FBI and the DOJ and Pelosi for prison. I've put a bunch of stuff on there. And she said to me, she said, Cindy, is that your car? And I said, yeah. She goes, I know it's freedom of speech, but will you wash it off, please? And I thought about it. And I called my attorney and I said, what do you think? And he goes, don't you dare wash your car. So it's still on there. But that's going to count against me because I'm not being remorseful. 2 points.
Cindy, I do want to ask you a question. How is your family starting to come around? Do you have a good support system? Do you have friends? Do you have people who are supporting you?
I have lots of support. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really good because in Pete's case, a lot of his family, he's all over CNN. His face is all over CNN, right? And MSNBC and all of these leftist places calling him a domestic terrorist, just saying the worst things about him. And his family happens to be a lot of Democrats, right? So they're watching it and they literally shunned him. They shunned him,
Yeah, my family is young. My daughter is 34. My granddaughter is 12. So they're young. They see things, but they don't see the picture like I see the picture totally. But when I told them about the plea deals and my position on them, and I said, listen, I can't take the plea deal and I'm not going to. I want you to be aware of that. They said, Mom, fight. So
they did.
Yeah.
Have you lost family members?
I've lost a lot of friends. Being from Nantucket, Blue Island, I have people I've grown up with that won't even talk to me anymore.
They won't.
And probably family out there that I haven't heard from, and I'm sure they have the same position. So,
And now, don't admit or deny anything, but what's the worst accusation against you? Like you broke a window, or give me something. Did you do something? Did you cuss at a police officer?
The worst accusation, in my opinion, is that I witnessed Ashley Babbitt's death.
What? That's what you're accused of.
And that I caused the disturbance that caused her death.
No. Wow. Jeez, Louisa. That's just evil. That's evil. Cindy, I'm not going to be able to get to your trial, but I wish I could. But will you do me a huge favor, please?
Yeah.
The most important thing you can do is updates as the trial. Have somebody, yourself. I want. Soon as this thing opens, I'm not saying that you're more special than anybody else, but it's right here. We're winning. We're fighting. Let's use your example as you fight through this thing. Give us updates. This is so agreed. I haven't even heard you say that you've done anything. You went into the rotunda, and they're going to go to trial. That's how about for judicial economy alone that they not allow a trial to take place.
You know how many people investigated me?
Yeah.
We're up to 20 people.
Trial's expensive. I mean, you got all those jurors on, shoot, lunches alone, lunches.
And here's the other thing, too, that I don't know if people understand or don't, but a defense attorney, so the government has all their tools. They have facial recognition, they have AI, they have they have the sedition hunters, which I don't know if you know about that group, but
I do. Yeah. They're FBI people, but go ahead.
Yeah. So they have all these tools that they use. My defense attorney has to look through 8 million records to build my defense. And it takes hours looking at video. If you miss 2 minutes before a situation or 2 minutes after, it's changes the whole context of what's going on.
That's right.
It takes.
Have you been able to, like, on Zoom calls where they go through the evidence with you, with your attorney?
I can't do Zoom because of the bandwidth issue. Like when we start talking, playing video,
right,
it doesn't work. So I go to Baltimore, which costs a lot of money. So right now, I've closed a business. I had a small business. I don't know what I'm preparing for, but I'm prepared. I'm hoping for the best, preparing for the worst. That's all I can do.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. Get your affairs in order, because, and doing that gives you the strength to endure, because, I mean, even the January 6th Patriots inside the gulag, like, if we didn't provide support to them, they'll be like, I need to get out and go take care of my family, but their strength and their fight comes from the support they're getting on the outside. So how can we support you right now?
So I have a Give, Send, Go, which they're going to look at, and they're going to up their fines based on what I raise. But you know what? I got to do what I got to do. So I have a Give, Send, Go. It's called Protecting Freedom. There's in New Hampshire. If you're in New Hampshire, they're doing a fundraiser on the 22nd for me.
I'm going to make a note of that. So. They are. Huh?
Yeah.
Did you invite Marjorie Taylor Greene?
We invited her to trial, but the house is on vacation that week. But my attorney thinks it might not be to my benefit if she showed up at trial anyway. So we're kind of keeping her in the loop.
I say it's just so egregious. So agree. All right. So what's the next thing that you do? Can you give me something that will not make me as angry as I am?
That's it. That's basic. I mean, I walked.
Do you have a picture of yourself, like, giving middle finger to the Capitol Police? Were you belligerent? Did they say you were disrespectful?
Needs good saging. I said that.
And they're going to go through with it.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I'm going to get in touch.
Okay.
And if you spoke to Kirsten about me, I think she probably already told him, firebrand when I latch my teeth into something. So I've got some ideas here. I'm not going to close here. Let's bring them to their knees in a good way, right? Figuratively. Yeah, I think we can do that. I'll contact your attorney and give him a couple of something. Is he courageous?
Yes, he's very courageous.
Good. He's going to have to be with what I got for him.
He's very smart too.
Good. Do me a favor. Let's give ASAP. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because you're saying he's courageous. If he's courageous, he can shut your trial down with just two things. I think your example here might be fun to push through. Cindy, what's the date of your fundraiser in New Hampshire?
It's July 22nd.
And where's that going to be?
It's going to be at John's Roast Beef in Laconia, New Hampshire.
Oh, man, I'll drive.
They have the best roast beef.
John's Roast Beef? Roast beef at what time?
12:30 to 2:30.
Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in it, we gotta go. We gotta light up the New Hampshire rally, New Hampshire. There's a lot of great patriots out there that'll rally and support. Everybody in New Hampshire, you need to get to John's Roast Beef. My goodness, July 22nd, Deb. How long does it take to get to New Hampshire? My goodness.
About 13 hours.
A while.
13 hours? What day is that on? July 22nd.
Is it a Monday? No. 22nd. I meant.
Are you a Christian? I'm saying if the Lord inspires me to do it right now, inspiring me. Just I expected to spend 10 minutes with you to get you an update on your trial. I swear to you, I was going to do 10, 15 minutes. I just left like 40 clips. Cindy, I love you. And I mean that sincerely. I love your American spirit. This is what we need. And you watched what happened to President Trump. That spirit is what we have in us, and he leads us. And what you're doing and standing up for the truth, right? On principle. Thank you for your service to our country. And again, like we said, we'll end on this note. Why are we doing this? It's not because we're just a bunch of belligerents. We'd rather not have to do this, but we can't afford not to make this world a better place for our children, for future generations. And thank you for your dedication. I mean that genuinely, right? And I'm going to be with you every step of the way. Get your attorney my cell phone number right away.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Wow. All right.
You're watching The Pete Santilli Show.
Mike Lindell here, and like you, I see our country being destroyed daily. We face massive economic issues, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are people in power who threaten the values that have made our country great. Well, I've been a believer in gold and silver for a long time, and I've searched for years for a partner that shares my values. Well, Genesis Gold Group showed me how easy it is to protect your IRA, 401k, or your retirement with gold and silver. Their faith-driven approach to service and stewardship is one that stands out from the rest. So call Genesis Gold Group now at